VCR Party Life. VCR Party Life. At the end of the 20th century, a scientist saw a killer comet on its way. He filmed instructions for its destruction over a second-hand VHS tape, but then was hit by a Winnebago. So his assistants Nick and Joe must search every corner of his drone for the cassette that is our only home. But in the meantime, they'll play the greatest hits they found. VCR Party Life. VCR Party Life. Melinda's.
Tuesday night, VCR party. Joe's there in the office full of 11,000 tapes. I'm at home. We got George over there, maybe in my home. I don't know. And we got Steve, and we're gonna watch some videos tonight.
Oh, lots of laughs, lots of good times. The holiday season's upon us. We're gonna do some chuckling tonight, aren't we?
I guarantee it. And to help us chuckle is an expert in the Star Wars holiday special, which we're celebrating tonight, Tim Herod. And Tim, you might know for another reason on this show. He's an Onion writer. He's what else?
He's a writer on Conan. He's a writer
yeah.
on Letterman.
Mm-hmm.
He's been at the Onion for a long. He's still at the Onion. You probably read his headlines before, but he's a Songer expert. He's the one who introduced me to Songer, and then he just has this encyclopedic knowledge of Songer. I think the two things he has encyclopedic knowledge of: Songer and the Star Wars holiday special. Those are his two specialties. I didn't ask him about anything else, so that's what I'm just going to assume. But he walks us through a little bit of both, a little bit of Songer. Mm-hmm. He has a new Songer segment that he's planning for 2022. And we walk through the holiday special, the Star Wars holiday special, which if you don't like Star Wars, you got to watch this. Like, if you don't care about Star Wars, don't skip over this because it's fascinating. I didn't know anything about it. I mean, I love Star Wars, but I never watched the holiday special.
It's just a pop culture artifact. Yeah. Regardless of whether you're a fan or not, it's pretty incredible. We just tip of the iceberg. We could do a deep dive next year. That could be an annual tradition around the holidays. We go deeper into this.
I mean, I got a taste for it now. I'd watched it before. I'd skipped through it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is dumb." But maybe like watching it with people is the way to do it. I think.
I mean, you and George came over the other night, and you forced George and I to watch 45 minutes of an episode of the Chevy Chase Show featuring Pamela Anderson. Yeah. The Star Wars holiday special is even more tedious than that. I think you could really inflict some pain with it.
Well, you say forced you to watch. You both seem to be sitting there enjoying it.
I remember Nick going to the bathroom to get ready for bed and saying several times, "Well, I'm getting ready for bed," trying to get us to go.
Steve's been in that boat before, yeah. We've all been there.
It's always fun to hang out with Nick because he's always perpetually about to go to bed.
Yep.
Starting at like 9:15.
Yeah. Well, some people get the hint, others don't. So we did a show in Brooklyn Christmas show in Brooklyn last week, and a ton of viewers like you came to the show and gave us tapes, gave us gifts. It was incredible. I'm so impressed every time we meet folks. Did you pull anything aside from the boxes?
I didn't, not from the stuff. I haven't unpacked the boxes yet, but I did get this in the mail from Flash Gordon. Flash Gordon's a regular contributor to IMGs. I got this in the mail. Some stuff here that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Right place, right time. You know that new corner that I have called "What the hell is this then?"
Yeah.
I think this could be a good "What the hell is this then?" Right place, right time. I don't want to show you the back; it might give it away. Here's another one. I've never seen this one. Bridging the gap from Gutenberg to Gigabyte.
Oh, that cover is incredible. That. Yeah,
that's so good.
So from Steve Gutenberg to the computer.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
Okay.
Steve Gutenberg. Yep.
There it is. So those are just a couple things. So thank you, Flash. We're going to watch those soon.
There's just one that we got the other day that I've been looking for a long time. This is Fighting Fit, the exercise video of Roddy Piper. And it's not by the WWF, so I think we can get away with showing this. I'm going to digitize it this week and report back.
You're playing with fire.
Dice. I know.
You're playing with fire.
It's Adidas on here, but I don't see anything about
Good
WWF.
luck.
So, all right.
Here comes our third strike.
Fingers
All right.
crossed. All right. Found Footage Festival Classic time.
Let's do it.
You caught me with my pants down, but no one sells carpet or waterbeds for less.
You know, we've been on a big kick with our morning news. We don't call them pranks. What do we call them? Morning news experiments.
Experiments, yeah.
Yeah. So Nick and I we for Found Footage, we will go on morning news shows to promote the show, like if we're in a new city. And so we realized that we could write up press releases for fake people. And we wrote up a press release saying that Nick was a celebrity chef who had written a book on what to do with your Thanksgiving leftovers and sent them out right after Thanksgiving. And there's one that has barely seen the light of day. And, you know, we're doing this SLP thing. And I think it's kind of fun to upload the full versions to those. Usually we show them in montage form, you know, just the funniest parts. But for the SLP, we just want to show all of them. So I think we're going to upload all the Chef Keith's this week.
Okay.
Right now we have all the Kenny Strasser ones up there right now.
And that's that's part of the freedom of having your own stream, like having your own Netflix, is instead of putting up like in-demand movies and, you know, Marvel stuff, you know, we're putting up the entire news appearances of a fake chef. So that's our version of Netflix.
We have the stupidest streaming service on the planet.
I think that's something
to be said. We have the stupidest. Isn't that our tagline? The stupidest streaming service on the internet. It's like,
henceforth
what is it? It's $6, something like that.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, here's Chef Keith. We call this the G.G. Allen clip. This is on I forgot what it's some northern Wisconsin.
Was it in Rhinelander? I think maybe
Rhinelander. That was the name of the city. Rhinelander.
Okay.
Yeah. Here it is.
Newswatch 12, your NBC station serving Adams County to the UP.
Welcome back on a Monday morning. Ben Meyer along with Chef Keith Gerke. Good to be here with you. And Chef Keith, you've got a new book out, and it has to do with leftovers. Tell us about your book.
Yes, gobble gobble, first of all. Happy post-Thanksgiving. Yeah, the book is really great. It's got creative ideas.
He laughed when I said gobble gobble.
It all stemmed from my kind of unusual start in cooking. I'm self-taught. I did not go to culinary school, and I'm kind of unorthodox. People compare. Are you familiar with G.G. Allen? Do you know?
Can't say I am. Tell me more.
Okay, punk rock.
Can't say I am. Tell me more.
It's 6 a.m. Let's talk about G.G. Allen.
I assume Steve and George, you know G.G. Allen, right? You're familiar with his
intimately.
Work. You guys are the G.G.
Tell me more.
You're the G.G. Allens of VCR party. I'll say that.
Nice.
The documentary about him, by the way, was I believe Todd Phillips.
Todd Phillips,
did it.
Yep.
So
Yep. That's where he got his start. Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm kind of unorthodox. People compare. Are you familiar with G.G. Allen? Do you know?
Can't say I am. Tell me more.
Okay, punk rocker from the '80s, who unfortunately left us a little too early. But I
unfortunately,
I think he left at about the right time.
he wanted to die. I mean, yeah.
I think it all checked out.
Unfortunately, left us a little too early. But I am kind of considered the G.G. Allen of the kitchen. So I won a culinary award last year, and because of my unorthodox style, I kind of looked up and literally was like, this one's for you, Gigi. So the book is an extension of my punk rock.
And because of my unorthodox style, that sounds like somebody who has an unorthodox style.
Yep. It's like somebody being like, I'm so weird.
But they're not even saying that. They're saying, I have an unorthodox style. What I did was this.
Right. Let me present it to you in a very orthodox fashion so you'll understand.
I'm so random in the kitchen.
Philosophy. And so it's all fun ideas to do with leftovers.
A lot of people think, all right, all we can do is really throw it in the microwave,
right?
And just get a little second meal out of it. But you have some creative ideas for us.
Yeah, and I'm not opposed to the microwave. Believe me, it's a chef's best friend. But what we're going to do something is a little creative, a little unorthodox here. There's a statistic that around the holidays, around Christmas, especially between Thanksgiving and Christmas, one of the highest depression, suicide rates, and I think part of that is because of the stress of what are you going to do with these leftovers. And
well, hey, let's take some stress out of this equation.
Exactly.
Let's take some stress out of the equation. People want to hear about suicide rates right where they wake up and they're having their morning coffee, right?
That and guys who like shat on themselves and had people pee in their mouths on stage. Those are the two things you want
to through shat at the audience too, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
and cut himself, and those are the two things generally they say morning news gold.
Yep.
one of the highest depression, suicide rates, and I think part of that is because of the stress of what are you going to do with these leftovers. And
well, hey, let's take some stress out of this equation.
Exactly. We have something to live for.
Yeah, it's just some of your own research, right?
It's a stat that I've heard before. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that's a little bit of Chef Keith.
All right. So the whole thing will be up on our SLP Club, which you can join at foundfootagefest.com. Okay, what's next? I think we were talking about your background, Steve, right?
Well, I want to ask George about his background first. Can we?
Sure.
I mean, what the hell's going on there?
Are you not familiar with Nick's hit show?
No.
Come on, Nick. This is
It's
Talking Dongles.
Yeah.
That was the big hit of 2020.
We were
It got
all
us through
on
the
it, yeah.
pandemic. Yeah.
That is a deep cut. Talking Dongles. Wow. Forgot about that. Did that take off, or how did that?
Yeah.
We're still doing it.
We're in our thousandth episode, I think. So yeah, it's really we just keep cranking them out. There's a lot to talk about in the world of dongles.
And it has 10 times the viewership that Willie's Garage had too, right?
Absolutely.
They're called donglers. The donglers are just mad for the show.
Well, hello, donglers. Yep.
That was
Steve, your
Dongleteers.
Oh.
But Steve, your background is it's a good one. It's holiday themed. I like it.
Yes, it is, and it's a fun one. Another case of talented Melinda. So, The Devil's Ball is a podcast where Nathaniel and Sam talk about the horror genre and film in a positive, productive way. They talk about everything from cult classics to unseen gems to the big franchises. They try to talk about each movie on their own terms in a thoughtful way, without the sort of kind of rage that many places online have. This month, the one that's behind me, they're featuring Batman Returns with Trace Ballou and Frank Conniff from Mystery Science Theater 3K and The Mads, Black Christmas, The Nightmare Before Christmas, Ghostbusters 2. They've also done an episode on Psycho Ape as featured on the SLP Club with
It's on SLP.
Nice.
Psycho Ape, yes.
Addison Binek. And all the episodes can be found at anchor.fm/Devil's Ball or wherever podcasts are found. I listened to the Batman Returns one earlier today, and actually I'm a fan of Batman, and George, I know you are too, and I learned a lot. So I will say that they're very well researched.
Cool.
Support the Melindas who support us.
Support the Melindas who support us.
Always
And
a
as Nick
cool
likes
sponsor.
to say, I am here for it.
No, I don't actually.
Wait, is that a thing that annoys Nick?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Saying I'm here for it? That
Yeah, I
annoys
know
you?
Nick always says it. He's always like, I'm here for it if he really
I'm
is
hoping
into it.
I'm hoping we have time in this episode because I have a lot of things that annoy Nick. People keep
Ooh.
sending them. There's so many things that are out there. Things, Nick, that you didn't even know annoyed you.
Well, we're running long already. I don't know if we're going to get to it. Let's do some quick celebrity bullshit. I got a fun one.
Okay.
Celebrity bullshit is the segment where we show you a media cover.
Celebrity bullshit.
Usually VHS, and you guess which celebrity it is. So here's a DVD. It's called Christoga, Christian Yoga, Christoga, and this is the star, a co-star of a dramedy from the 80s. A dramedy from the 80s.
A dramedy from the
Yeah.
80s. That's a drama meets a comedy, right?
Yep.
Combined into one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yep.
oh, I'm gonna say who's the from
I think I got it.
I think I got it.
Go.
Callista Flockhart.
Janine
Okay.
Turner.
Okay, and
Who's-
Joe?
What's her name in Ghostbusters? She's the secretary.
Annie Potts.
Annie Potts. I'm saying Annie Potts.
Okay. All right. This is Christoga, Christian Yoga, and we'll see who's right. I will say this. One of you is right.
Whoa. Come on, baby needs new.
Just threads. Hi, I'm Janine Turner. Welcome to Christoga, Christian Yoga. Yoga-filled body, Christ-filled soul.
Who is she? I don't know who she is.
Drawing
Northern
your hands
exposure.
back beneath your shoulders. Inhale. Exhale your shoulders above your hips. Interlace your hands and extend your arms.
Oh yeah.
What a fabulous
Looks way
opportunity to
different.
spend a half hour, an hour, stretching and toning your body and worshiping with Jesus Christ at the same time.
Makes total sense.
Christoga.
Faith and fitness. Yeah, that's A childhood crush of mine, Janine Turner from Northern Exposure. And yeah, just as a reminder, this is Janine Turner from Northern Exposure.
Yep.
Now does it ring a bell, Joe? And
now it's all coming together now.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So she went Christian and but is in great shape, I think. So yeah, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. Ends justify the means.
Yep.
Hey, I got some flying windows that you, if you guys want to see them.
I do.
Okay, so we always have fun with these flying windows, right? It's always like something funny, like there's a horse in them, or there's like a butterfly, or something saccharine, something
Bubbles
nice
with plumbing equipment in them. Yeah,
exactly. It's always just a good time. What about the dark underbelly of flying windows? You guys ever think about that? You got your ears on?
I hadn't thought about that. No.
Okay, well, flying windows aren't all fun and games, Steve.
That's news to me.
Okay. This one comes from what's Michael Gross? Michael Gross. I was gonna call him Michael Keaton because his last name's Keaton.
Ties.
Yeah. Here's this video. This is a celebrity bullshit from 2 weeks ago, and there's flying windows in here, and there's a lot of drugs that they explain in the flying windows. So you guys are in for a treat. This is gonna scare you straight. Here we go.
Marijuana is often sold and stored in small plastic bags. Paraphernalia for its use includes unusual-looking pipes, water-filled pipes called bongs.
Water-filled pipes called bongs.
Paraphernalia for its use includes unusual-looking pipes, water-filled pipes called bongs.
Often featuring Stewie Griffin and.
I feel like Cypress Hill should sample that, should they?
Yes, absolutely. Get Be Real on the phone.
Yeah.
Pipes called bongs. Hashish is sold and used in smaller quantities. Commonly called coke, blow, rock, or crack. It's uppers, speed, crank, or meth.
It's a McDonald's straw, isn't it? The red stripe. I think they had red and yellow stripes, I think, back in the day.
Okay.
It may range in color from white to dark brown, but is most often seen in its black tar form. The drug may be applied to anything which can be smoked, but is often used on darkly colored cigarettes which hide the drug's presence. A microscopic drop can be put on paper, small gelatin squares, or any other absorbent
the Rolling
material.
Stones
You've
logo.
seen the most gelatin squares.
Is it?
Yeah, the tongue.
The middle one, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or any other absorbent material.
Hot Legs.
Yeah.
Absorbent material.
Is it a mushroom cloud
most common
too?
drugs our children are exposed to.
See, look, they collected all the
Remember
flying
them.
windows here.
But more than that, understand
Stationary.
the symptoms that accompany their use.
There you go. There's some flying windows. The underbelly of flying windows. George, did that scare you straight? Are you going to avoid?
I kind of had the opposite reaction. It kind of looked really cool the way it was all like arrayed, and then there were like windows flying.
And you're like,
I don't know.
You're like, oh, black tar.
Right. I'm sick of living in a house where all the windows are stationary, you know?
Yeah.
I want some unusual looking pipes. I don't care about the drugs, but I want to collect some unusual looking pipes. So maybe I have to take up a marijuana habit. Maybe that's the next step.
I think it is. All right, let's get into holiday special, the Star Wars holiday special.
Speaking of dark underbellies, yeah, I mean, this is the dark underbelly of Star Wars that George Lucas doesn't want you to know about. So,
George and Steve, have you seen it?
I've only seen clips. I haven't seen it in years. If I saw the whole thing,
It's almost impossible to watch in its entirety.
And didn't George Lucas just try to kill it from everywhere? So it's like you've got to find, it's not easy to find, right?
We talk about that. Well, it's easier to find now. We talk about it, but yeah.
All right, let's go to Tim. We'll see you on the other side.
Come on, let's see your raviolis. Show us 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 your raviolis.
Tim Harrod, thank you. Thank you for
Life
joining.
Day to
Happy
one and
Life
all.
Day to you.
We finally have you on the show, and we're going to watch Star Wars Holiday Special. But before we get into that, we got to talk Songer. You're the one who introduced me to
Songer.
Songer. We got to jump into Songer.
Is this just a kind of excuse to get around the formal rules of once a month? Is that
here's the thing. Tim does have a new clip.
Okay.
And I know it's not 4 weeks yet, but he's presenting it, not me. That's the technicality.
Found a loophole.
Exactly. But it's
Brilliant.
good. I think even like the anti-songers are gonna like this one. Anyway, tell me though, how did you first get introduced to Songer? And like how did the obsession start?
How did I first? I couldn't tell you. I've always been a fan of the weird back roads of the internet. And gosh, it might have been 10 years ago.
Oh, really?
Might have been.
You're a scholar.
Ago than that, but it was always in the back of my mind. And when I started submitting stuff to you guys, that was one of those things that would eventually come to my conscious mind and go, "Hey, they like this."
Yeah, and you're right. You're right for the most part.
In doses.
And, I would like to thank you for introducing me to Songer, and I'm sure there's people who hate you right now. But
no question.
But last week at Nighthawk, you got to play Songer on the big screen.
Yes.
That's got to be the first time that's ever happened. On a huge screen in Brooklyn, Songer was screaming at the audience.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I could check with Radio City Music Hall and see if they've ever done anything like that. But most likely, those were the first ever people to pay money to see Daniel Songer perform.
Yeah, I didn't see walkouts. I'm guessing there might have been, but it was loud too. It was very loud in the theater.
Yeah.
Daniel
Well,
Songer was.
it's always loud. It's hard to get not loud from Songer.
Yeah.
What was the response from your perspective? Because we were sitting in the audience and I couldn't really see how people were responding to it. What was from your perspective? How did people react?
Oh, they're mostly enjoying themselves. There's always going to be the odd Songer hater who refuses to participate.
Well, I heard some jeers when we announced that it was going to be Daniel Songer. There were a few jeers.
There was a little, yeah.
Yeah.
I like to think they were good-natured.
Yes, definitely.
Just chiming in to let you know there's Songer haters in the crowd too.
Yep. Right. So you made a new segment called The Two Sides of Daniel Songer, and you played it at our show, and I love it. I think so. Are you thinking this could be a new segment for the monthly Songers?
Oh, I could crank out a few more of those. Yeah.
Do you want to set this up? This is it's like 45 seconds long.
Well,
and yeah,
it has to be explained to all the Melindas out there. I've enjoyed curating all of these Songer segments throughout the year, but when I look back on them, I realize that these segments are kind of making them out to be little more than an unfunny cretin, which is so far from my real intent. Because if you look at this man's career, he's published books, he's written screenplays. Some of the videos on his YouTube page are him reading his impassioned religious poetry. And I realized this is a deep and complex man, and we're kind of doing him dirty. So I came up with the two sides of Daniel Songer, which is, I think, a much more balanced portrait. I think it's a lot more even-handed. And I think this could even help introduce Songer haters to the many layers of this man.
Okay. And I think it's good because he has like an inspirational message. It's the holiday season. And I think
that really helps a lot.
There's that too. So, all right, here it is. The debut of Two Sides of Daniel Songer.
Two Sides of Daniel Songer. Side 1.
You are my Lord, please be my Savior. Jesus, rescue me and keep us together, for our love will endure.
Side 2.
Jerk-offs! All men are jerk-offs! All men are jerk-offs! You know what I'm talking about! Jerk-off!
This has been Two Sides of Daniel Songer.
You're the master.
Well, there you go.
The master.
There's a lot more there than we've been giving him credit for, is my only point.
I love his song.
Did his songbook have a picture of himself on the back of it in that sort of make your own binder thing?
I think so. Yeah, I think that was the old author photo,
and the cross necklace too.
Yeah, with the cravat and the tweed jacket.
Yeah,
I love it. It sounds like a religious song that somebody's making up as they go along, because he has that one line, "Please be my savior.
You are my Lord. Please be my savior."
But isn't like Jesus? Isn't he already built in as the savior? Like, why do you have to like, please be my savior. Isn't he already the savior?
That's a good point. Yeah. But you do have to ask, or he likes it when you ask formally that he enter your heart.
Oh, Jesus does?
Yeah, that's my understanding.
That's one truth, and the other truth is that all men are jerk-offs. All men are jerk-offs.
You learn so much.
Yeah.
You see all facets of the songer jewel.
I'm so excited for 2022 and what that's going to bring us songer-wise. All right, let's jump into it. Star Wars Holiday Special. You emailed like last summer, and you're like, I wanted to have you on the show to talk about anything because you know videos. And you said, I'm an expert at the Star Wars Holiday Special. And I was like, so I put it on the calendar. You've been on the calendar for like 6 months. So I'm excited about this. I need a tour guide. I watched this in college, and I barely remember it.
Oh, boy. Well, of course, I won't be taking you through the whole thing. That is a true journey into the asylum of insanity that not everyone comes out of. But the excerpts that we have, well, it'll give you a taste.
It's pretty awful. Nick, you're familiar with it, right? You've seen it, right?
I remember renting it at Kim's Video in New York, and there's always like the best version. Is it the Philadelphia version that has the commercials, or do you want the version without the commercials? And like picture quality is an A+, but no commercials. It was it was like this legendary bootleg because George Lucas, the rumor was trying to destroy every copy of this. He was so embarrassed about. We should explain. It's a variety special that aired in 1977.
1978
or 78. Okay.
November 17th, 1978, the Friday before Thanksgiving. So it's as much a Thanksgiving special as a Christmas one.
Okay.
And it was about the Wookiees celebrating their version of Christmas, which is on December 14th, right? Life Day, is that right?
Well, they use a different calendar, but yes, it's Life Day, which the mythology of which is a little murky. In George Lucas's original story treatment, it's something the whole galaxy celebrates, and the planets take turns hosting it like the Olympics. But I think they dialed it back to just being the Wookiee tradition holiday.
Is there anything in this that's considered canon, Star Wars canon?
Some stuff has leaked out into canon. The pilot episode of The Mandalorian makes reference to Life Day.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Horatio Sands' character in the pilot.
That was like a little wink at the fans.
Oh,
I
sure.
definitely noticed that. Yeah.
Disney didn't make it, so they're not too proud to drop references to it.
Right.
Well, now it's on YouTube all over the place. Like the entire thing is. I think George Lucas, did he let his guard down? Does he not care anymore? Has he come to grips
I think
with it?
he's aware of the Streisand effect, where if you try to rub something out, it just becomes more popular.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, let's start with the intro for Star Wars Holiday Special that even starts with the actual special thing, the CBS special thing that starts out.
Yeah, with Hawaii Five-0 music, incidentally.
Oh, is that what that is?
Incidental music from Hawaii Five-0.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. Here we go.
The Incredible Hulk will not be presented this evening.
Ah.
Major misstep. That's from Hawaii Five-0?
Yep.
Okay. From their introduction?
No, well, it's not from the opening credits to Hawaii Five-0. I think it's a few pieces of incidental music from like a chase scene or something that they splice together to get that little 5 seconds of excitement.
I love it. All right, here we go. It's way longer than this. It's interminable, the intro.
The Star Wars Holiday Special. Introducing Chewbacca's family.
Right away, you're like,
his wife, Mala.
His wife, Mala.
His wife, Mala.
I don't think she's that bad looking. I think she's like sort of attractive.
Very kissable lips.
A little bit.
His father, Itchy. His son, Lumpy. With special guest star,
Lumpy.
Beatrice Arthur. Art Carney. Diane Carroll.
Of course, the lovely Diane Carroll. Every variety
The
show.
Jefferson Starship. Harvey Korman.
Re-rolls for Harvey.
And an animated Star Wars story on the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Prepare to be disappointed.
George Lucas is spinning in his grave.
John Williams
Wait.
is like, do I have to score that? Or
Of course, he didn't score. They got a TV guy and a lot of his music from the library.
I see. Yeah.
There's one part that I wanted to include that was tagged on at the end of that I think you should probably hear. There we go.
The Star Wars Holiday Special, sponsored by General Motors. People building transportation to serve people.
So this is a full sellout move. Full. Wow.
That was pretty common for special television events in those days.
This does seem like such a 1970s thing. Like, let's turn this thing that people love into a variety show, and we'll have song and dance. We'll have Harvey
B.
Korman
Arthur, Harvey Korman. Yeah.
And it will have the Star Wars name on it. Seems to be their logic.
Well, the fascinating part is that all the Star Wars people showed up.
Like, I was gonna say, like, unlike the Brady Bunch special, another legendary variety show, which had to replace Cindy or the oldest one.
Marsha was the oldest one, but it was Jan.
Yeah, Jan. Yes, Jan was replaced with like a more attractive girl that was part of it, because I guess Eve Plum didn't want to do it. But
and I remember that Simpsons episode where they
they referenced
where somebody
that
sat
too.
in for Lisa. Yeah.
The Smile Time Variety Hour. Yeah.
Yeah. The cast members, all the cast members of the original film being in this, I think you can see it on their face that they're convinced they're doing this for George.
Mm-hmm.
George made them big stars. He put them in a huge film franchise, and I think they felt they couldn't say no to this.
So George wanted to do this. George Lucas wanted to do this.
It may have been his idea. I don't know. At least he wrote a story treatment for it.
I didn't see his name in the writing credits. The only name that I recognized in the writing credits was Bruce Valanche.
There's also Pat Proft, who worked on things like the Naked Gun movies.
Yeah, the Zuckers.
And Lenny Rips, who went on to do a lot of work on Full House.
Full House. We called him Lenny Rips, a big one.
Yeah,
that's what we would always say. And
Lenny Rips wrote it. Oh, wow. Okay.
And who's the guest star, or who's the actor that you feel the worst for in this? For me, it's Harrison Ford.
Well, of course, Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Cannot be enjoying himself.
No.
He has very few scenes, but he has some.
Yeah.
And perhaps he's the biggest waste of talent, because even the special guest stars, they're used to variety shows.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Harrison Ford was not turning up on Donnie and Marie.
Oh, he seems really reluctant. We'll hear a couple Harrison Ford lines in the clips here, but let's get started with the first one here. It's the Harvey Korman cooking scene.
Oh no!
Yes, this is about 20 minutes into the special. Mala, who you'll remember is Chewbacca's wife, is getting the big family dinner ready by following the instructions of an alien TV chef.
Okay,
that's the only possible description of.
And guess what we're ready for now? The cooking. Step 1.
And by the way, this is like a 6-minute scene, and I chopped it down to 2 minutes. I think I got the essence of it here. So
Stir the mixture. Stir, 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 stir.
I think Bruce
stir,
Valanche
stir,
probably
stir.
wrote this.
Stir, 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 stir. Very nice. Now, step 2. While we're stirring, we also whip. So it's stir, whip, 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 stir. Stir, whip, whip, stir. Now, let's try it again together at an increased tempo, because precision is very important in this recipe, and we do want to have a fine consistency, don't we? So, and on the count of 1. Stir, whip, whip, stir. Stir, whip, stir. Come on, faster all together now. Cooking can be fun. Stir, whip, stir. Stir, whip, stir. Wow! Having fun. All right? Coming along nicely. Now, step 3. We also have to beat. So, it's beat, stir, whip, beat, stir. That's not right. I'm sorry. Stir, whip, stir.
I mean, the choreography's not terrible.
Whip, stir, beat, stir, whip, stir, whip.
This is a good time to point out that hanging Jell-O molds on the wall of your kitchen is a universal constant. It happens in every galaxy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They all did it. They all did it back then.
Coming along nicely. Starting to have a fine aroma. Got it just in time. Now, at this time, I usually like to taste the broth. So we'll have a little taste and see how it's coming along. A little bit more sauce, a bit. Oregano, a little panko. One for the pot. Coming along. Very nice.
Would that be a good Comic-Con costume?
Oh, excellent.
It has been. I've seen it.
Oh, have you?
You can find it online.
That's good.
The character's name is Chef Gormanda. So if you do a Google image search for Comic-Con Gormanda.
Okay.
Did you even get what the joke was there?
I just imagine being, because like I was too young. I was born in 1976, so I didn't see this. I didn't even know about this until college. But I can't imagine, like, I did see Star Wars when I was a kid, and I loved it. I can't imagine like sitting down and watching this, being so excited for it, and then sitting through that scene that's just like, what am I watching here?
Yeah.
Like any Star Wars on television must have been cool, because movies didn't go, they weren't on TV regularly.
Yeah, I mean, it was exciting to have that little hand-cranked Kenner viewer with a minute of silent clips from the film, because there were no VCRs yet. So yeah, more Star Wars on TV for free was a good deal. And then it turned out to be 90 minutes of stuff like that, with the commercials stretching it out to 2 hours.
Also, it starts off really strong, though. It starts off with a space battle.
It gets you thinking it's going to be so exciting. It's Han and Chewie in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon, dodging laser beams, and it's so exciting. And then you get the John Williams music and the guest stars, and you're going, I am so in on this.
And then
then the first 13 minutes are all in Wookiee language, and you're like,
Yep.
Okay.
And that cooking scene, though, I believe the joke they were going for was that Mala can't keep up with Harvey Korman because she has only 2 hands.
Right.
And Harvey is there with multiple hands. And so they were trying to do Lucy in the Candy Factory, but it was shot all wrong. You need like good facial reactions, and you need her eyes to bug out and go, I'm supposed to do what? So they completely botched that.
Not the first. That's the first of many things they botched in this special.
Oh, yes.
All right, let's watch the. First of all, how long after Star Wars did this come out? So Star Wars.
This was a year and a half after.
Okay.
In fact, it was almost exactly the midpoint between the original film and The Empire Strikes Back, which was part of why this was so good for Lucas. It's keeping excitement about Star Wars alive.
Right.
Of course, he owned the merchandise rights. So in November, you want to remind people about Star Wars. It made all kinds of business sense for him.
Okay.
And of course, from the network standpoint, Star Wars was hot. People love variety shows. And there's a robust theory I haven't found evidence for that this was first planned as an hour-long show, and they got greedy late in the game, so that's why everything's stretched out.
It goes on. When you said it was 90 minutes, I was like, no, it has to be 2 or 3 hours, because that's how long it feels.
Yeah, with the commercials, it's the full 2 hours.
Yeah, okay, all right.
You can't believe how long 2 hours can be.
All right. B. Arthur Cantina scene. This is another interminable. You really picked the interminable ones. This is like a big tedium corner, really.
Yeah, but they're all interminable. This at least is a show tune. It's a song and dance number.
Yeah.
Sounds like it was cut from Cabaret or something. But
I thought it was cool that they use all the costumes from the original Cantina. Like they have a lot of them in there. So.
I think that was one of their first ideas was, hey, we'll get the Cantina creatures. People love that.
Yeah. All right, here it is. B. Arthur. Do you want to set this up?
She is singing as a way to empty out the bar. It's really complicated, but the Empire has declared a curfew on Tatooine. The bar has to close. the aliens get mad at her, like they didn't hear the announcement. They think she just doesn't want to make money anymore. But then she starts singing as a way to soften them up and get them out of the bar. And it's worth pointing out, all of this is being broadcast over the Imperial Media Network as a propaganda film about how depraved life on Tatooine is.
Boy, there's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts.
I swear to God,
yeah.
It sounds like I'm making this up.
No, too many cooks in the kitchen on this one. All right, here we go.
Harvey Korman being one of them.
All right.
Oh, they have the Max Rebo band there?
All right.
Oh yeah, they got everybody.
That is Figrin Dan on the modal nodes.
Oh,
Max Rebo
right.
is Jabba's,
the Jabba's palace with the blue. Yeah, okay. Different guys.
All right. I can take a hint. We'll have one more round. This one's on the house. I'll run a tab for the Empire. Just one more round, friend. Then homeward bound, friend.
That should be a 9-year-old kid excited to watch space battles.
Just one more song.
Well, I guess Maud's gonna do a 6-minute song. Okay.
Long, friend. The nights get shorter, it seems.
I don't remember the guy in the background in the movie.
No, I think he's just in the show.
Those two guys. There's Greedo and there's the other guy.
Greedo and Walrus Man, whose arm Obi-Wan cut off.
Right.
So probably someone of the same species, but not the actual Walrus Man.
Right. That might not be Greedo. It's probably the same species.
That is Ludlow. He actually calls him Ludlow at one point.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we are in good hands here.
Yeah.
Friend, if you're a friend, then you'll come back to me soon.
I like Ludlow's moves.
But it's too late.
But now who's he? It's like Michael Myers.
You'll have to wait, pal. Don't you cry. Now it's good night, friend. Good night, friend. Good night, friend.
That guy's in it, right? That guy's in the.
Oh yeah, the devil
scene, right?
guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in there. Yep.
He's pretty cool.
Follow me. You're such a dear friend. You know I'm here, friend.
Like, oh, I thought it was over.
Yep. No.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah. It never ends easily. Like editing this, I was just like, oh, where do I?
Now it's good night, friend.
It's like
when the bad
what's the
guys
ending?
are finally defeated, there's still 20 minutes of show left.
Right.
That insane.
Good night, friend.
Oh, there's another goodbye. Okay. All right.
Good night.
That's what people liked about the cantina scene in Star Wars, right? Was the sad bartender just closing up at the end of the night, sort of a maudlin song about the end of a fun evening kind of thing.
Harrison Ford really dragged that scene down in the original.
Right. Oh yeah, with the action. Yeah.
But his singing was beautiful.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
All right. Last scene here. The Life Day ceremony. This is the doozy right here. This is the big one.
And in this scene, well, the bad guys have been defeated. There were some Imperial troops occupying the Wookiee household as part of an Imperial plot. They got rid of them all. The Wookiees were able to celebrate Life Day by putting on their red robes and holding their glowing orbs, and then they walk into a magical cosmic light, and then they emerge. It's hard to tell, but they're actually outdoors, and they're at the base of the Tree of Life, which is the center of, I think, Wookiee religious culture. So that's where you have the Life Day celebration.
Right. And then the gang joins them, and we'll kick things off with the red robes that you were talking about. Here they are, walking into the light.
Happy Life Day. Happy Life Day, everyone.
Chewbacca, we were so relieved to hear you were all right.
All of you are an important part of my life, pal. I'm glad I could be here.
Phoning it in.
What did he say? All of you are an important part of my life, pal.
All of you.
But
he's only looking at Chewie. Maybe his whole family.
Oh, okay. Pal. Okay.
Yeah. Well, he does. Earlier in the program, he does look into Mala's eyes and say, "You're like family to me."
Right.
Oh, Harrison Ford does?
Yep.
Oh boy. We'll talk about this when we get out of this, but like, has anybody ever talked about this like, has Mark Hamill or
Harrison Ford did on a Conan, I think. I remember.
Yes. 2006, he was very embarrassed by the clip I just described, telling a space gorilla, "You're like family to me."
All right, here we go. Let's finish this scene.
Yeah.
All of you are an important part of my life, pal. I'm glad I could be here.
This holiday is yours, but we all share with you the hope that this day brings us closer to freedom and to harmony and to peace.
Maybe I feel sorry for Carrie Fisher the most, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
'Cause she had to sing, and her voice isn't bad. But...
Yeah. The scuttlebutt is she agreed to do the special as long as she got to sing.
Right.
Oh.
To launch maybe a singing career, put out an album or two.
Okay.
No matter how different we appear, we're all the same in our struggle against the powers of evil and darkness. I hope that this day will always be a day of joy in which we can reconfirm our dedication and our courage, and more than anything else, our love for one another. This is the promise of the Tree of Life.
That's Scientology?
Very close.
A day of peace, a day of harmony, a day of joy we all can share together joyously, a day that takes us through the darkness.
What's going through his head right there? Oh boy,
doing it for George, doing it for George.
He's not hiding his contempt well at all. Right here.
He wants to go back to carpentry at this point, like why did I become an actor?
Right.
Mark Hamill wants to go back to car accidents.
Yeah.
I wonder if this caused his car accident. Might have done a second take on that note there. I think maybe she missed it just by a hair, but it's fine. It's close enough.
To dream, to grow, to trust,
Life Day.
See, now, did you see that documentary about Carrie Fisher?
Yeah.
I always just thought she was so cynical. When I saw that, I was just like, she didn't want to do that. But I'm amazed that you said she did want to do that, Tim.
That's what I heard. I wasn't in on the meetings, but supposedly she wanted to sing and kind of used her participation as leverage for that.
Okay.
And I really know. She was friendly with John Belushi, who also turned an acting career into a singing one. Maybe that inspired her.
Okay.
It's the Jim Neighbors career path, basically, from Andy Griffith. Yeah.
I mean, this whole thing, it just feels like fan fiction to me, doesn't it? It's like if somebody's just, it just feels like if I were to sit down and be like, oh, I want to do this imaginary holiday special, and I get to write fan fiction, then I can get the whole Star Wars cast and crew involved in it. I mean, it's fascinating.
But it's like a weird bad dream. The Melindas right now might feel like they've watched an entire bad TV special, but there's so much more we did not show them. Harvey Korman teaches an instructional video to assemble a technology that doesn't really exist, but we have to watch the whole thing anyway. There's virtual reality porn to arouse an elderly Wookiee.
Can I show a little bit of that? I've shown this a little bit on previous Christmases here, but this is the scene I always think of. Just to give you an idea of that scene, this is
They'll insert this proton pack.
There's Itchy.
I thought you might like this. It's one of those, it's kind of hard to explain. It's a, wow. You know what I mean?
Pornography.
Happy Life Day.
Oh. Is that for real?
Yeah.
I do mean Happy Life Day.
It's sexy Diane Carroll wearing a skimpy outfit and singing.
And then he starts masturbating.
Yep.
That's
the implication.
My grandmother used to say, it doesn't feel like the holidays until the elderly space gorilla masturbates in his living room.
So he's kind of like, all right, and then there's a lot of psychedelic stuff.
Stretching it out. This is stretching it out so hard.
This only needed to be an hour long. There's so much filler. So much fluff.
Yes.
I think the one redeemable thing.
I can feel my creation. I'm getting your message. Are you getting mine? Oh, we are excited, aren't we?
I mean,
just relax. Just relax. Yeah. A little more. Now, we can have a good time.
What?
Can't we? I'll tell you a secret. I find you adorable. I'll tell you a secret. I find you adorable. I find you adorable. I find you adorable.
Madness.
He's replaying it.
I don't need to ask how you find me. You see, I
Talking
am
about
your
Lumpy?
fantasy.
Oh, Itchy.
I am your experience. So experience me.
Experience me.
I am your pleasure.
This is still the holiday special, right?
This is still
This
it?
is our moment together in time. That we might turn this moment into
It's one of many moments in the special where you can just get a laugh by going, Star Wars, everyone.
This is part of the
And
universe.
the sarcasm inherent in it is just obvious.
Yeah, so I mean, that's sort of the masturbatory VR scene with Itchy, the grandpa. Yeah.
When did you first see it, Tim?
I saw it when it aired.
Special? Oh, you saw it when it aired?
Oh, yes.
Oh, that must have had an effect on you.
Well, I'm here tonight, aren't I?
Your life has brought you to this point, so yeah.
Do you remember, like, did you apologize? Like, were you just like, oh, it's Star Wars. I'll accept anything that Star Wars throws at me.
Sure. Yeah. I thought this should be good. But like I was a precocious kid and I read like the TV Guide close-up blurb that pointed out it was going to be a variety show and not like a new movie or anything. So maybe I was a little prepared, but I'm still expecting something, evoking the excitement of Star Wars.
Yeah, right. And they give you that a little bit, maybe like 4 minutes of that.
Well, the Boba Fett cartoon is the thing that everybody pulls from that. It's like being actually cool. The animation's cool. It's not variety show. It doesn't dumb things down.
That is the good part of the special. And if you have Disney Plus, it's on it right now in crystal clear quality and is very
awesome.
entertaining.
So if there's an argument to be made for the Star Wars holiday special, it's probably the Boba Fett thing. Like that's the good thing that came out.
Sure,
of
that's the saving grace there.
But is there anything else? Is there anything else other than that? Like, is there anything that's
just the ironic cringe value that you guys like? But if you really only want top flight entertainment, you should not seek out The holiday special.
Well, they would be watching this show if they wanted top flight entertainment. So
maybe B. Arthur's singing appeals to some people, but there's nothing that's good Star Wars except the cartoon.
Right.
I would say it's a fun thing to fast forward through. Like, that's the best way to watch it. You get it, you're like, this scene, you're like, oh God, B. Arthur's singing. Then you fast forward 7 minutes and you're like, okay, I got that scene. Now let's go to the chef scene. Now let's go to Starship.
When I was cutting it together today, I was like, I was enjoying it, but I was like, this would be so much more fun with a room full of people. I was like,
you would think so. They would have to all be into really bad entertainment. Otherwise, they're going to get mad at you for showing it.
They'd have to be like tedium heads. They'd have to be TD bears.
Yeah, tedium heads or cringe heads at least.
Yeah.
We could do like maybe next year with Tim. We could do like a live virtual screening on Zoom or something. Like as an event on Life Day, because clearly
I think
the
little
rights for
excerpts
this
don't quite cut it.
Yeah, I mean that would just be for the people who wanted to suffer through the whole thing, but we'd have tour guides. We would help out throughout. So maybe
that's why. Yes, that's why I'm glad that you came on to be the tour guide to walk us through your experience with
sure
the holiday special. But so here's the big thing: is that you're doing a podcast for us now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yes, with us. But you're hosting a podcast called Derp Tracks and
Derp Cuts.
Derp Cuts
on deep cuts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Derp Cuts, deep cuts. Got it.
Yeah. Full title: Derp Cuts: the worst and weirdest audio of all time.
Yeah. So you sent us. You put together one like pilot for it, and you took all television songs that came out of television, like "Do the Urkel," some other like weird deep cuts from like the Mary Tyler Moore Show that I didn't even know about. Welcome Back, Kotter. Some songs came out of all those TV shows, and you host it, you introduce it, and it's so good. So yeah, we're gonna kick things off with the Christmas episode. Seems like there's a lot of crappy Christmas music. So
I'm still putting the finishing touches on it, but there should be time. We should get it done.
And then after that, we'll do it like once a month.
We'll see. I guess we'll assess how much people want to support it and where to go from there.
Yeah. Cool. I'm excited that finally there's a podcast on the Found Footage Festival Network. So
I am too.
Yeah.
So thanks for doing it.
It's a
really
regular
good too.
sound footage festival.
It's a sound footage festival. I like that. All right. But let's go out on this, dude. So this is Bob and Bev. You wanted to include this, but like, is Bob and Bev? Are they on Derp Cuts?
Yeah, they're going to be featured on the debut episode because they've got some great cringe Christmas music. They're a married couple in I believe Newcastle, Indiana. Bev and Bob Holwager, and they have a green screen and I guess they have karaoke equipment. And they really enjoy getting in front of that green screen and singing the tracks. And they take requests from fans. And it's a remarkable thing. The way they look at each other, you get the feeling they're actually in love.
Oh, that's great.
I don't know if you'll see it in the clip that we have.
Well, it's a 30-second clip, and I like to think it encapsulates Bob and Bev. But yeah, cool. So all right. Derp Cuts, everybody download it and listen to it, and we're going to go out on Bob and Bev. Thank you, Tim, for joining us.
My pleasure.
Star Wars Holiday Special.
Thanks, Tim, and happy Life Day to you and your family. Have a safe Life Day.
Happy Life Day to one and all.
Have a safe Life Day.
We celebrate a day.
This will get that song out of
for
our
Bob
head.
and Bev. Here we go.
The party's on. The feeling's here, and all because this time of year, simply having a wonderful Christmas.
This won't get flagged. There's no way.
Simply having a wonderful Christmas time.
No, the algorithm's like, what the hell song is this?
Children sing their song.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding.
There's that look.
All right, that was Tim Harrod. Always a pleasure to have him on. He gets deep because he actually is good at trivia. Like
he's a trivia guy. He does like trivia nights. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a feeling we'll have him back for other stuff because
he writes for HQ too.
Yes,
we should have
HQ
him do
trivia.
Yes. Yeah. George, you want to get us into cyber videos?
Sure. Cyber videos. They're an online feast of sound and color. You've probably heard they're a fun and easy way to spend your time. But just how much is too much? Find out on tonight's expose as you learn how to watch cyber videos, internet on the...
He sounded like Geraldo when you did that introduction. Yeah. He had like a Geraldo type.
We'll be right back on Fox 25, Fox 48. Well,
hit me with a folding chair.
We're in the heart of Alan Thickness. This is the holiday. It really runs all month, like the Advent. That our viewer Wayne. Oh, and by the way, Wayne came to the show at Brooklyn, and she gifted us with a bunch of stuff. I should show you that these are little noise-making things, and they said this is to Joe to annoy Nick with.
Oh,
these
cool!
Noisemakers. I believe she got this about as a support for me with the Red Robin photo, being cyberbullied with that.
That's not cyberbullying. I thought it was a good photo.
These are vitamins for you to help you recover from your various maladies.
That's right. Yeah, Steve's sickly.
Yep. And various other candies here. So, here's a power bar for you. Do you dabble in power bar or Cliff bars?
Oh yeah.
You dabble in Cliffs?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and also this is a fun one. This is a some sort of belly toner, and she got this for you, Joe. So,
what's she trying to say with that?
Well, you show your belly a lot, and
okay,
so,
yeah.
All right,
and it does need toning. So
her suggestion was to. There's a lot of Christmas-related clips featuring the ubiquitous in the 80s and 90s Alan Thicke from Growing Pains. So here's today's installment of Merry Thickness.
Cowabunga, it looks like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and look who's joined the party.
Everybody ready to party?
This is a Disneyland parade.
You probably wrote this.
Yeah. Kind of a rap version of Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
You better watch out, dude. I'm talking about your mood. You better not shout, don't pout, freak out. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's a radical dude. He's making a list, man. He's checking it twice. He knows who's cool, dude, who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming. The dudes all around. Santa Claus is coming. He's back in town.
Couldn't like April have sang the song or something? Like all she's doing she has a fake video camera and is videotaping Alan Thicke and the Turtles rapping to Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Well, that makes it more immersive.
Yeah, I guess so. We got to see the little like record lines at one point, but like let's involve April a little more. Like let's not relegate her to just taping this.
Santa Claus is coming, he's back in town. You better not shout, don't pout, freak out. You better not cry because Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is back in town.
And that's Merry Thickness for this week.
Are you going to run out of these?
No, I've got enough to last us through the new year. So,
and then you think we'll be good for December 2022 then too, right?
That's a good question. I might have to dig deeper into the Thick's catalog, but definitely have enough for this month.
Thicke never said no to anything, so I feel like there's a wealth of Thickness out there.
Yep,
Thickness cheer.
Steve, what do you have?
So I'm back on with my Jock Shams. I'll play the intro now.
It's a jock sham, jock sham, jock sham, jock jock sham, boring you with a signature drawl. It's a jock sham, jock sham, jock sham, jock sham. This rap is done, now it's over to you.
And so this was sent in by Eric Reinhardt, and he sent a bunch of captures from TSN, which is apparently Canada's version of ESPN, and these are from '88. And I don't know if you guys are, I consider myself a pretty big baseball fan, but this guy I was not very familiar with. And hopefully you can still order his video because Christmas is coming right around the corner.
Is a former player?
Former player.
Okay.
I'm intrigued to see if you're going to know.
Okay. I collected baseball cards, so maybe I know.
That's what I thought.
Here's baseball at its best.
Back to the wall, grand slam!
The baseball world of Ernie Witt.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ernie Witt. I think the 1987 season was just 2 games too long, but I really feel the Toronto Blue Jays was the best team in baseball. That if the Blue Jays were in the World Series or in the league playoffs, we would have won it.
Ernie Witt was an original Blue
So
Jay in
he's got to do nothing but apologize for his
video,
team not making the World Series before he
Major
sells it.
And
2
some
games
of last
too
season's
long.
Incredible games.
One of the biggest highlights of the 1987 season had to be the pummeling of the Baltimore Orioles when we beat them 18-3, I believe it was.
He's
That
not
night
even
we
sure
had
of the
10 home
score of
runs,
the game.
and I myself had 3.
Here's an hour of TV highlights from the past
Hanky.
decade and some of the great moments from the '87 season. The baseball world of Ernie Witt, only $29.95 plus tax and handling. Order now by calling toll-free 1-800-268-1121. That's 1-800-268-1121.
I do remember him. I do
You
remember
have?
him. He was a catcher, right? Yeah, I had his baseball card. I remember that mustache. I think he wore glasses too.
I
Yeah.
couldn't remember him. And but on top of that, like, so he sent over a couple other ones. And like what I loved is they usually did was like you had to ask for a certain operator because they were all selling like the same video. So it's like call this number and ask for operator 23 to buy blank, blank, blank.
Oh man, I think they were like, what were they trying to do with Ernie Witt there? Were they trying to make him the next Yogi Berra? Because it's just like, oh, he says whatever's on his mind. It's like,
you know,
the baseball
don't
world
know.
according to him.
I just
right?
like that he was unprepared. He's like, I think it was this. I'm not sure. We're not going to retake it with the guy with the stats over there. We're just going to take and do it. And then everything was like an hour worth of highlights from the last 10 years. So they weren't even, you know.
So I'm saying it wasn't like an
last year.
instructional video on like how to be a catcher. It was a video on just like his thoughts on things.
Yeah.
So I think they were
Johnny
like,
Bench was like, you know, he had that, but those are instructional videos, the Johnny Bench ones. So,
right,
yeah, I
right.
don't know what
Pete Rose,
yeah.
most of them did that, but I think they were trying to make him like a Yogi Berra, which is like he says crazy things. I kind of want to get it. I bet there's crazy things he says.
Well, his name is Wit, so maybe it's like, you know, the wit and wisdom of.
They didn't do that though, did
No.
they? They had that opportunity.
You should have been hired on this, Nick.
Yeah.
I feel like your ideas are a lot better than
missed opportunity. Yeah.
When Nick was 3.
Yeah.
I got an idea, Mr. Witt.
George, what do you got?
So on last Friday night, I went over to Nick's. Joe, you were there.
Yep.
We played a board game.
We hung out socially.
Yeah, it was a game called Dune. Was it Dune the Ascending?
Dune Imperium.
But whatever it was.
Who won? Do you guys remember who won?
No, I don't. Don't recall. Don't recall.
I don't even. Oh, I remember. It was me. And not only did I win, I trounced. I destroyed.
Now
they were like the board goes up to here. I was up here, and like Nick was here, and like George was right there. Like, do you see that?
Yeah, gracious winner as always.
But the game. So I'm not even really a board game fan, but Nick's love of board games sort of makes it a fun time. But there were so many rules to this game. You spent forever trying to explain it to me, and then while we were playing, kept adding more and more rules. So to try to simulate what that was like for me, here are the supercut of explanations of game show rules from game shows that lasted like a week or two.
Oh,
I love it.
Good.
Our game is played in 2 very different rounds. In round 1, our 3 challengers will be fighting it out in order to determine which 2 of them are going to go on to do battle with our reigning champion later on in round 2.
They're worth $500 each to begin with. When the clues are given, however, the monies do drop, so play as quickly as you can.
Each round begins with a tune-in question, and the team that answers correctly earns 25 rating points and control for the spin-off questions that follow.
A team can win a round if all 3 members of the opposing team are knocked out of the game by a wrong guess.
guess or by coming up with the 7th correct answer to that question.
Now, all you have to do is describe the subject we'll give you to the next player so that he says it and then he passes it on and so forth. But if anyone repeats a word or a sound, you will hear this, and the scoring stops right there.
The object of the game, formulate a question using one word at a time.
For each, we have a list of 10 words that people might use. And while one team is isolated, the other team will talk. And every time they say one of our words, well, we put a point in the pot and remove that word from the list the other team will see.
All the answers are either yes or no. It's very simple. First one who locks in gives the answer. If you're right, you score a point. If you're wrong, your opponent gets the point.
Just write down the last 4 digits of your phone number. You'll be crossing these digits off as we post them on the board. Cross off all 4. Your number's up and you can become thousands of dollars richer.
Now, we only charge you with words that describe the subject, and of course we won't count simple words like he, she, or it.
We're going to play 3 games. All of them are different, and each will give us a winner, and those winners then compete against each other in the main event, where the prizes add up to over $10,000.
And one other thing, you must not pantomime. Pantomime is not allowed.
This is going to be fun, I promise you. Everybody ready? Hands on your buzzers. Here comes your first question.
That is one thing I always add to game explanations is this is going to be fun. Just trust
me. No, you are good at peppering it with like, just bear with it. This is the hard part. And then it'll be fun once we play. George, did you end up having fun though?
Yeah. No, like I said, it's always fun because I get pulled along by your enthusiasm and you guys fighting each other is always, it's like watching another episode of the show where I don't have to prepare anything.
If you thought the shit talking was extreme, then wait till Steve comes to a game because
I'm the worst sport.
Yeah.
Oh, he's terrible, and he usually loses too, which makes it even worse. And
I beat Joe, and then that's why Joe gets upset.
I think I have more wins than you do, Steve.
In pregame. So the first time I play is the preseason, which is these are rules we've set up. Those when Joe wins, and then once the regular season start, he wants to keep talking about the preseason games.
Yeah.
Well, all right, calmer than you. All right, you want to see some IMGs?
Yeah.
Chicken shit. Electronic video transmission uploaded with no intention, harvested semi-ethically. Welcome to IMG.
Got some weird ones this week. Some really weird ones. All right, IMG 4073. Alan sent these next 2, and they're related to each other. They're probably from the same class. This first one had 7 views, and Alan called it Mr. Johnson's catheter.
Oh, no.
I'm Mr. Johnson, so I'm going to be your student nurse today. I'm just going to be getting a sample from your...
She actually called him Mr. Johnson. She goes, "Hello, Mr. Johnson."
They must all have to... her.
I know, but like a Johnson is a wiener. Remember, like Junior Johnson. Remember we had this. Yeah, we learned the lore of Johnson. But
is that a butthole they added on the bottom there?
Are those balls right below the shaft up there?
Defying gravity.
Then, yeah. It must be an anus there. Yeah. All right, here we go.
I'm Mr. Johnson, so I'm going to be your student nurse today. I'm just going to be getting a sample from your Foley catheter.
My eyes are up here.
We're going to clamp this.
Watch this part.
I hope I never have to have a catheter. Oh no!
You see how it fell over? And she
I
don't know. I feel like she got like a B- on this because of that, for that movement
it's
right
like
there.
Parallel parking and hitting the curb,
Yeah, she gets 25 points off for that one. Have you guys ever had to have catheters put in? It just seems like my nightmare situation.
I mean, it's part of getting older, I think. So,
Steve, you haven't had a catheter put in? It seems like you get one put in like weekly at this point.
First operation was 5 hours. I think that's the only big operation we had. But they just have you not eat before.
Oh, okay.
Not eat or drink.
All right. So this next one, Alan also sent this one, 4607. 52 views. This one, for some reason, had more views, but this one doesn't have any audio for some reason. But Alan called it More Plastic Dongs.
Yeah, we'll find out why.
So there's no audio on it. But
I wonder if that's Mr. Johnson connected to his body. They must not have had the full model in the previous one.
Yeah. And also she has a shirt that says like girls basketball state finals t-shirt. If you had somebody like handling your dong and was wearing like that shirt,
Put out some scrubs,
Yeah. Or maybe that hospital, that's what they wear. Maybe that's their uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so.
Okay.
Okay. So these next two are also related. This one's IMG 1231. Brian sent this one and he said, it's just people, hopefully veterinarians, looking at a cat's butthole. So hopefully that is a veterinarian. I'm with Brian on this one.
Yeah, you saw the white coats.
It seemed like it was.
Yeah,
you didn't see a girls' state finals T-shirt, so that's
No.
always a good sign.
You seem more official.
Do you guys like that one? You kind of seen some dead-eyed stares from that one.
Nonplussed.
Yeah. The one thing though is that it got forwarded into my email, and so all of a sudden there's a subject line: people looking at a cat's butthole. And I'm like, what kind of
You got CC'd on that, huh?
side job do I have? Yeah.
Oh, you got that one too? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, all
I
right.
thought it was you who forwarded it.
All right, this last one. So this one's kind of related to that one, right? See how the first two had to do with the plastic dongs. These two have to do with cats. Flash sent this one. Flash, who sent Gutenberg to gigabytes.
Right.
3807 called it. Has 14 views. Called it creepy spinning cat. Creepy spinning cat.
It's like one of those ones they make out of discarded fur.
Yeah.
But it's on a
good description.
Yeah. Accurate.
Rocks are done. Gotta sleep. Bye.
Felt like we went on a journey there, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a
Without a
great
doubt.
batch of cyber videos, and let's do a little nice things. I think we have time for one or two nice things.
Okay.
Great. And this week's Nice Things sponsored by Big Fun Columbus. I know you guys are going to Columbus this week. The owner, Jason, would describe the store as a junk drawer with a pulse, filled floor to ceiling with vintage toys from the 60s to current, and a growing, expanding pile of goodies. Not at all like the blob that Steve McQueen was worried about. It's a neutral zone sanctuary for nerds, geeks, dorks, and island of misfit humans, which I think you guys both fall under. So hopefully you guys will have a chance to go by.
We will be stopping by. We'll also be seeing Caitlin, our co-host on Saturday Morning Cartoons, who's going to give us a tour of the Billy Ireland Cartoon Library. So maybe we'll bring our video camera in there and get some good shots of.
Yeah, we got Big Fun
animation
for Columbus.
cells.
That's always a fun one, and we always do go to Big Fun. Isn't there a Big Fun in Cleveland too?
Oh, it closed down, and now there's just the Columbus one. So yeah,
Oh,
we'll
okay.
have to do
So
it
that's
there.
the only one we have now.
Mhm.
Okay, all right, cool. Well, I'm a
Great
big fan of Big
sponsor.
Fun. Yes.
Nice things. What do we got?
Oh, so Perry sent this in. So Perry, we watched American Movie a couple weeks ago on our EP for $10 and up patrons. We watched 5 great clips with our buddy Mark Breeze. He walked us through his favorite scenes of American Movie, and one of those scenes that we always show on the show is Flame Broiled, which is Mark Borchardt, the protagonist of this documentary, going through the drive-through and trying to talk to the camera, but at the same time being given his change and being given his food. And he says, boy, that's cool. Very cool. I can't remember which order it's in. I think it's very cool. Boy, that's cool.
Yeah.
And we've always asked Melinda's whenever you're going through the drive-thrus to do this. And Perry heeded the call. And here he is at the drive-thru doing some boy, that's cool.
Okay, very cool. How are you, ma'am? Okay, very cool.
Yep. So 2 very cools from Perry.
Yeah.
Nice work. So yeah, next time you're going through the drive-through, I think you got to do a boy that's cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool, and then it's boy that's cool.
Yep.
Next time you're going through the drive-through, give a very cool and boy that's cool when you're accepting your change and you're accepting your food.
And if your friend or spouse is in the car with you or your partner, hopefully you're talking to them and doing it. So like having conversation. Cool. Boy, that's cool. Yeah.
I think it's even more impressive that Perry is by himself.
I know.
And he was just like holding the camera up here and doing some very cools.
Yeah.
So, but yes, send us your very cool boy that's cools.
I just got a couple of nice things I'll show off. Bob Hedges. I think these came from Bob Hedges because they came from eBay and they weren't addressed. So Bob Hedges is our regular viewer. He's a pilot, and he sent me Alf in a car. Alf in a car. And
is that a sanctioned toy? Like, is that something you can buy?
This is, but then somebody glued it into a car. So that's the unsanctioned part. And then he, not one, but 2 Alf TV trays. So you can watch TV and you can watch Alf while eating, your snacks and food. And I have 2. So George, did you want one of these?
Wait, that brings your total to 3, right?
Yeah. So I got George. I got you down for 1 at least, right?
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, the other maybe I'll auction off, or well, we'll see. We're doing our Christmas show next week.
Trying to make a buck? You're
gonna
try to make a buck
party,
off these.
so yeah, no.
You know what I think? I think you and your girlfriend should watch episodes of Willie's Garage.
Yeah.
While you have those on, while you have them, right? Is that what you guys do? You guys put up the
Watch this part where I made a comment about Willie in this episode. Watch this. Oh, you missed it. Here, let me rewind. Observe silence. It's a lot of that. So now I have TV trays to do that with. So thank you, Bob, and thanks for this. This is actually already gone on my shelf of toys. So thank you for that.
I don't think we have enough time to show things that annoy Nick, but can I just show you one thing that Scott sent that I think will definitely annoy you?
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it kind of annoys me, and I think it'll probably annoy a lot of people. This is the most egregious misuse of apostrophes I've ever seen. He saw this. He lives in Boulder. MOT failures. Welding.
They're always warning you that the S is coming up.
Look at that, clutches. I don't even know if I've seen an apostrophe that egregious.
Never.
Clutches.
Wow.
And belts. But repairs
doesn't, but makes does.
Makes and models does.
What were the rules in their head?
I don't know. Why does repairs? I wonder if he looked at it and he was like, damn it, I screwed up. I made a mistake.
Yeah. I forgot the apostrophe on repairs.
Yeah.
Wow, that does annoy me.
Clutches.
Scott.
Look at that, clutches.
Wow. That's impressive.
We got to declare a winner of things that annoy Nick pretty soon.
Pretty close.
But they keep coming in. They just don't stop.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that annoy you. You're very irritable.
I know. Well, maybe Christmas. That'll be the gift of annoyance. We'll see. Next week we're doing a gift exchange on the show. But let's talk about some announcements. We're pre-taping shows for January because we're taking a little bit of time off from recording, so we're doing it all this month. So you'll never go a week without VCR party content and EP modes. Don't worry about that.
We had to take we needed to take. We've been doing this for 190 episodes straight every single week. We need some time where we don't see each other weekly.
Yes.
Don't you think? Don't you think it'll be nice?
Yeah, it will be. Yeah,
it's gonna be so great. So
we love doing the show, but I think some time off will be. I mean, we're working double this month so that we have off. So it's really, it's the same amount of time. It's just spread out differently.
And we have fun. We have fun stuff planned for January too. We got Joe Pera. We're gonna have Joe Pera on the show. We're gonna show him some videos. And we have Zach Zucker. We're gonna do another Who's the Yellingest. And then my birthday extravaganza, I'm going to show a lot of IMGs for that one. I'm going to do a year in review of IMGs.
And the jingles episode, I think we're going to do four states and talk about jingles. So it's going to be a fun month. And stay tuned.
We'll have the Flub Master on, Dan Opsal, the Flub.
Oh yeah.
Lots of good stuff coming up. All right. So other announcements. So the Thomas's the denim Thomas's Muffins hat that I stole from a lawn skeleton. I decided I'm going to auction this off. I'm going to raffle this off on the last episode of 2021. When we do our countdown episode, I've been getting a bunch more in. You have 2 weeks to submit.
Okay.
Submit to the address that you see that came up. Nick, make sure that you put a address up. And I just got this one today. It was a Holy Grail. Monty Python Holy Grail, from Tim. Tim sent this one. I hope I win that denim Thomas's Muffins hat that was on that lawn skeleton sweepstakes. So, yes, we'll be raffling that off in a couple
Good luck,
weeks.
everybody. This Saturday, we're watching Dino Saucers, another dinosaur cartoon where there are no rules. And there's a Christmas episode called There's No Such Thing as Stego Claus, and we're watching it with one of our favorite guests, a bona fide like art director at an animation studio and a paleo artist herself, Rebecca Dart. So
this was a top fiver for me.
Wow.
Like a top 5 Saturday for me. I loved this episode. I had so much fun with this one.
And then you mentioned we're going to be in Columbus, but we are in Cleveland Wednesday. Tomorrow night we're in Cleveland, so come see us. There's a special, very special guest who'll be there live in person in Cleveland, Columbus.
Can we say who it is? Why don't we just say who it is?
All right, sure, go ahead.
Martin Carlton. Martin Carlton, the guy who jumped from one tree to another tree, is going to be there. And then we're going to see him on Friday.
Yeah.
And we're going to shoot a little video with him. Oh man, we got a lot going on. Also in Cleveland, we're going to be playing the Balloon Fest video.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Balloon Fest 86, which is the shirt that I'm wearing, which you can get at foundfootagefest.com. This is the authentic shirt, the authentic design that they had. And I'm excited to watch it with the Cleveland audience. Do you think they'll get upset? Do you think they'll get mad? Or do you think they'll have a sense of humor about it?
I mean, they have a microbrewery called Burning River based on the, toxic river there. So I think they have a sense of humor about their sad sack state as as a city. So
yeah, they own it.
I think they'll like it. And then we're in Milwaukee in our home state on Sunday, and then Monday, big show at the Music Box in Chicago. So that's going to be fun. What are we going out on today?
We're going out on a Silent Night medley. So there's so many Silent Nights out there. And I pinpointed 3 Silent Night. Silent Night's just kind of a dirge, isn't it? It's
slow
like,
and yeah.
Silent Night. It's one of the worst ones, isn't it?
It's pretty bad. I mean, Up on the Rooftop's my least favorite of all time, but yeah.
Well, if we would have done things that annoy Nick, I would have played that song actually. Done more of those. All right, so you're going to hear 3 different performers singing Silent Night. The first one's Alan Gillette, who we know from Chicago and from this Nashville public access show. And the other 2, you probably know who they are. Actually, no, it's going to kick things off with the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders. They're going to kick things off with this.
Wonderful.
Here's the thing. If we had been prepared, we could have done better.
We'll be right back right after that.
Support the Melindas that support us. Check out the Devil's Ball podcast, anchor.fm/Devil's Ball. My nose isn't full of yuck anymore.
Party nights, summer whites. You, your friends, and your Johnson.
When we return, Dr. Selner will complete the bunion surgery.
Yes, those are his pajamas he's wearing.
All right, I gotta go.
That's all. That's it.
Let me see that one.
Rocks are done. Gotta sleep. Bye.
That's it. That it done.
We did our best. If we'd been prepared, we could have done better.
What do you think about Bibra?
About what?
In 8.
My nose isn't for yuck anymore.
Ooh.
That's all I'm doing.
Sure, Yodel.
Tinkerbell!
We'll be right back right after that.
And Kurt Polstead, the real great guy.
Nice, nice.
Goodbye.
Jim's Coins in Hilldale.